Yeah. Bill and I, we're running this show. Digital land, let the blockchain flow. Pod to the cast, we ride the air. NFT dreams like we just don't care. Metaverse wild, like a zombie horde. Earth to terrain, we're never bored. VeVe collectibles stacking high. Bill and I, we touch the sky. Digital world, we rule this space. NFT riches, we're on the chase. Metaverse dreams, a brand new guide. Zombie and Bill side by side. Yeah. Bill lays down wisdom like it's gold. I'm the zombie breaking every mold. Virtual lands where our roots grow deep. Podcasts alive, we never sleep. Podcast kings in the cyber realm. Forward thinking, we at the helm. Digital land, new frontiers we take. Binary zone that we co-create. Digital world, we rule this space. NFT riches, we're on the chase. Metaverse dreams, a brand new guide. Zombie and Bill side by side. Digital world, we rule this space. NFT riches, we're on the chase. Metaverse dreams, a brand new guide. Zombie and Bill side by side. Bill lays down wisdom like it's gold. I'm the zombie breaking every mold. Virtual lands where our roots grow deep. Podcasts alive, we never sleep. Podcast kings in the cyber realm. Forward thinking, we at the helm. Digital land, new frontiers we take. Binary zone that we co-create. Followers join and they heed the call. Hack the code, break the fourth wall. Pixelated power in every hand. Bill and Zombie own this land. On this land. On this land. Yeah, on this land. On this land. On this land. On this land. That we co-create. Yeah. Yeah. On this land. Yeah. On this land. Yeah. On this land.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bill and Zombies Metaverse Adventure. This is our exciting podcast right now because we got a very special guest, our first guest, but a special one. I met in San Diego for Comic-Con. Hell of a guy, even more amazing collector. I'd like to introduce Crypto Cosmo.
Hey, what's up, Zombie? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. How you doing?
Oh, so good. Pumped to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Bill's running a little late. He'll be in a second.
Yeah, all good.
Cool. So what have you been up to, man?
Dude, I was just listening to Miami Homies episode, whatever they're on right now, but I was listening to that earlier. Always love tuning into that. Doc, Rain, Randy, always doing a phenomenal job. So yeah, I was doing that earlier and then just working. It's been plugging away, but doing a bit of travel this week.
Nice. Now, do you feel the vibe a little different recently with the VeVe community?
Totally. Like with VeVeverse coming out, the content that's been created, the creativity it's unlocked, it's been fun. It's been really cool to see just my feed blowing up on X constantly with VeVeverse content going on. I'm impressed too because I was in the beta. And I'm impressed with the time and effort people are putting into this. And I knew it would happen, but it's so fun to see.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. What are your thoughts on the VeVeverse since you had the beta and you got early access and all that? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So from the very beginning, I was like, as I was in there, I was like, oh man, this is going to be really great. Like there's going to be so many people that will take this by the helm and build, people that love spending the time with just building intricate designs. And so for myself, like I got in there and my computer, I use a Mac, and apparently it's not like the greatest for the VeVeverse upload speed. So it's been a little bit slow on my computer. I've been really looking forward to the mobile version, because I'm more of the simplistic builder, like drag and drop, like got my collectibles, want to just kind of put them in a simple way. Right. And so I'm looking forward to that. But I think, stage one of the VeVeverse has really done very well. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I was too. Now I ran into some lagging. I tried to do a live stream, and I'm not sure if my computer's set up for that plus the VeVeverse. But I had loading items. I had a screen loading and stuff, and it took a little time. But once it got kind of warmed up, I guess, and I was in there and everything was loaded up, it was pretty smooth. At first I didn't like it because, to tell you the truth, I'm impatient. I don't have the time or energy to learn a whole new process and to, be creative like that. But when they put in the houses that were already designed, oh man, I went back in there and I set up my a couple of collectibles in a little spot and put some stuff on the wall. I love it.
Yeah, no, each new update, that was a big one as well for me. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is big for a lot of people that just want to put their collectibles on a shelf, kind of flex it, make it simple. So that was big. Also just the new designs of the wall textures and things that they're adding consistently. And as they keep adding new content on it, I mean, it's just going to grow into something truly special. We are very early, like I mentioned earlier, this is stage one. Right. And who knows how many stages there's going to be, but I have a feeling this is going to grow into something big. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a good starting off point for sure. With VeVe, sometimes you're holding back and you're hoping, and some things don't line up the way you envision it. But this definitely, hit the mark for a good start off point, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So just to get kind of the viewers introduced to you, how did you start your collecting journey?
Yeah, so it started with VeVe. I've never been a physical collector. It's just something, I've been one of those that having a bunch of physical items and things has just not been something I've been interested in. Like I collected, Marvel cards and things when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But as I got older, the physical collecting outside of like maybe a signed jersey or something, from I got one from Pele and from Messi on my wall. Oh,
nice.
But outside of those, it was just not something I was super into. And the NFTs, Doc and Crypto Rain, Dr. Stuff and Crypto were both trying to get me into VeVe. And I was just like, I don't understand like why you'd pay for these images. I didn't understand the NFT world, but finally them and another buddy of ours, Crypto Cashflow, convinced me to go for my very first drop, which was the Marvel comic #1 drop.
Damn.
I went
legendary.
The 7 gems. I got a common, and I was like, "Oh man, see, this is what I was talking about. Like now it's worth $2 or whatever." And then from there, like I ended up going for the next comic drop and the next, and kept buying more. And then the rest is history, man. I've been totally hooked after that.
Wow. So did you only purchase one or did you have multiples?
Yeah, I only purchased one of the Marvel comic one. Wished I had could redo that. The next comic drop, I picked up 2. I can't remember if that was like Fantastic Four #1 or which one it was.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then the next week, I picked up 3, and then I think it was like 5, and then I was going for as many as I could, and then I was just like picking up, and honestly, I just remember seeing Mr. MC1 like whenever it was in that bull run, like posting that he had 500 Marvel #1s, and I was just like so inspired by that. I couldn't believe it, like honestly, and I was like, man, if these ever drop in price again significantly, like I want to stack a bunch of VeVe collectibles. So
right. So did you focus mainly on the comics, you said?
No, it's been a blend. Honestly,
Mhm.
I was doing sets to stack MCP points and trying to, you go to the VeVeSetlist.com website or whatever
Right.
it is that allows you to organize the sets by the cheapest set per MCP point.
Mhm.
So I was kind of focused on that, making sure I was taking advantage of all the cheap MCP points. And then I got to a certain point where I was like, okay, got the MCP points that I'm comfortable with and happy with. I'm going to just make sure as the prices have kept dropping that I'll stack more and more grails. And
Mhm.
that's where I focused on kind of some grail collectibles, grail comics, and I just started going heavier on that.
Gotcha. All right. Let's add in Bill. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I guess I'm late to the party, huh?
Never,
What?
never.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was at 11. What's up, Crypto Cosmo?
What's up, man? Good to talk with you. This is my first time getting to chat with you. I love it.
I know. I've seen you around so much. Buying up
Absolutely.
a ton of stuff on the app.
Yeah,
I see
man. I
you.
mean,
See
trying to.
you buying.
I feel passionate about where things are going with this, so trying to take advantage.
Yeah, that's
All right.
awesome. What did I miss so far?
Oh, nothing. We're just getting to know Cosmo a little bit.
Cool.
His collecting style and stuff. So that's a good question. What is your collecting style? Do you focus mainly on grails? Are you like low mints? Like what do you do?
Yeah, for a little bit, I was trying to go for low mints and things, but then I found that I can be a little too impatient at times when I when I do need to offload things, and so I would sell them for cheaper than they should go for.
Mhm.
When I need to go for something else. And so I was like, I'm just going to buy floor items, but grail items. And that's where I focused on a lot. Like once I got the number of sets that I was searching for in my MCP points. And so
Mhm.
that's been like a few core comics and a few core collectibles lately. Partner statues I focused on pretty heavily, as well as Todd's. And then just some of the big comics. Comics in Crypto puts out their list of top
Right.
comics or so, top 25 or
Yeah.
top 50, and I was kind of looking at that and then using that as a gauge to stack some, and then focus heavier on some certain ones on there.
Nice. So how many, if you don't mind me asking, how many partners and Todds do you have? Do you know offhand?
For Todd's, I think it's 12 or 13 for Todd's.
Wow. That's
And then
crazy.
for partners, I picked up my 8th partner statue just a little while ago.
Congratulations. That's a accomplishment.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where these do. I believe in them.
Yeah, I saw that the MC1 Commons dropped to like $16.98. And I was like, oh man, I'm surprised they haven't been swept at that price already. I think I only hold like 20 of them, but there's just so many good deals right now. It's tough,
Yeah, you
I
got to
know.
pick and choose, right?
Oh, it's so true. Like, do you guys remember back last bull run when it was just like people were clamoring? Like, it was funny. I was just in exchange with Wes on X about this very thing and Lomant Nick, but people were clamoring to like, oh, I should have bought Golden Moments. Like after they dropped, they were so cheap. Like, why did I not pick up more? And it was about like every grail. Like people were saying that. And I just remember thinking, I was like, okay, there's a 4-year cycle. I mean, this is NFT's first cycle, but I was like, I see the technology. I see the relevance of where this is going. I believe this is going to come back again. I'm praying and hoping that this bear market kicks in and that these prices drop, because if they do, like I want to stack and take advantage of these key collectibles. So yeah, it's been very juicy prices lately all over the market.
Well, it feels like you just don't know where to spend your money at right now, because you got crypto on one side, OMI's super low, 3-year lows right now. It's insane. You got VeVe and Earth 2 and Essence. I don't know if you mess with Earth 2 at all, but that's a good metaverse token there. And and then you got collectibles and comics. It's literally like spin the wheel, and whatever you're going to choose is going to be a good bet.
Yes, dude, it's so true. Yeah, I haven't delved into Earth 2 myself. I've heard Bill talk about it quite a bit. I know, as well as a few others. I know Randy talks about it a lot. And I've heard of Earth 2 like from various non-crypto sources. And so it sure seems like it's got quite the fan base, quite the user base built in. I anticipate it should do pretty well with all the people that are already involved with it.
Yeah, we had an issue early on. It might have been around the same time as VeVe with the investor that VeVe had an issue with. I mentioned in the previous chat. Ben caused some problems for Earth 2, allegedly. And he was also involved in mysterious things in that as well. And it kind of put a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. And all of a sudden, these scam tubers came out of nowhere with giant account followings, all hammering Earth 2 all at once, talking about what a scam it is. It's not real. And yeah. And then I think he might have possibly sold out of that and then jumped into VeVe either right after or at the same time. Who knows? A lot of that speculation, but it seemed like a coordinated effort with these scam tubers. And then you saw VeVe get hit later on. It wasn't until probably a year after that they really started hammering VeVe as well.
Yeah, they all had the same talking points. It was sus.
Dude, that's
Wes
unfortunate.
says
That's
this
crazy.
guy Ben loves trying to destroy companies. That's what I see.
Yeah, there's a common theme there for sure.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What's your collecting style on VeVe?
Go ahead, Zombie.
Let's see. Well, at first I got in. My first collectible was one of the posters for Ultraman. Got that, and then Myrmicornos, went from that and saw the demand and the app crashing and everything, and got the bug and started doing here and there, but I didn't really have a focus until I really got familiar with Todd. And it's a funny thing is I used to collect comics when I was a kid, and one of the comics that I loved to death was Spider-Man with the Todd McFarlane cover on it, and that kind of introduced me to Todd, and I was like, oh crap, the statues from Todd, and I loved it. So I focused on that and pulled my money together, got a sub 100, and thought I was the shit and was all stoked about it and everything. And kind of switched my goal to getting things, that were grails, FAs, and low mints. And that's what, kind of like you, I focused on getting some sets early on. And when they announced the Master Collector program, I was like, okay, let me get a good foundation here and then go back to collecting, my grails and my sub 100s, and I focused on that ever since, getting key pieces that are going to, really mean something in the future. And they mean something to me now for sure. I love looking at like Captain Hook, and the Cheshire Cat, and just all these collectibles that have such amazing followings and fandoms. And you hold a key grail to that fandom, and that's not to be taken lightly, I think. Bill?
Yeah, sorry, I was just sharing the link. Yeah, I kind of got started with Earth 2 first. My style was I'm into real estate, so I have a bunch of rental properties and I also manage properties. So my aspect first getting in was I loved crypto, but I also like cash flow. So I wanted to get digital land to earn crypto and or NFTs or whatever I could to generate cash in digital land. So that's how I initially got started. I thought that was a genius idea. And I got involved with Earth 2 with Randy. Really, it was before Randy. I didn't learn about it from him, but then I found him along the way.
Yeah.
And then it was just funny to watch. He was doing Taco Bell and car streams. It was pretty funny.
COVID.
Yeah. Yep. Right around that time. Yep. And then I went into VeVe, but really I didn't get into Omi till later. I was big into buying the collectibles. The first one I bought was the DeLorean, the ultra rare. And, who doesn't love Back to the Future, right? But after that, I got in this. I didn't start stacking right away because I think the prices were just so high. At that time you were just buying what you loved,
Yeah.
and then just trying to get any drop that you could. And then I think once Omi, I bought my first Omi. It was like 6,000, 1 million for 6,000, I think it was, which was pretty expensive, right? And then, but I just waited. I'm the type of crypto guy that just buys a little, like $1,000 chunks, just here and there when I want to. And I found that it works really good because it just dollar cost average you into everything that you can, as opposed to putting in a large stack all at once. And then all of a sudden the price drops. Sometimes, yeah, yep. Sometimes that happens, right? And, then you don't have any powder on the side and you want to be able to buy more when you see a nice dip. So that's initially when I started buying Omi. But then even after I don't think I bought my next one until it dipped in half or more. And then I ended up doing it that way. And I only spent probably about 40K or 30K. I don't even know at this point. But my dollar cost average got down to 0.0006.
Wow.
Heck
Nice.
yeah.
Somewhere around there, right? And because I did it that way. Otherwise, my dollar cost average would have been so high. But I was also buying the NFTs at the same time. But then once I started buying the Omi, I started buying all kinds of comics. I'm more of a comic collector, I think. I have a couple thousand on the app right now. But I just like stacking weird things, I guess. I don't know, just stuff that I like. Like me and Coolmo got into M'Baku's for no reason, right? It was just fun.
Yeah, that's right. I remember your post
It was
about
just
that.
fun.
Insane amount of M'Baku's.
Yeah, when they first released, they were like $2, and I'm like, really? I'm like, bah, 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 bah. We're just buying as many as we could, and I think I had like 50 or 100 right when they first released because they were selling them for nothing.
Yeah, they got disrespected early. I remember.
Oh my gosh, they did. And then after a while, they started pumping, and I think I might have sold a few off or something. Once they were like $6 or $8 or something like that. And then over the years, I just bought more. And then before I knew it, it just became a thing. And I realized Coolmo had quite the stack. So I'm like, well, let me get close to him. And then I got this thing where I like don't pass him, but I get close. And then he'll rise up and then I'll just like get behind him, just to kind of like have him like hold the lead. It's pretty funny.
You don't lose sight of him.
Right. Yeah. But I don't pass him either. Just because it's fun.
Yeah, it's the collecting game within the collecting game, but it's a thing. Like there's all sorts of things like that happen in this, and it's just going to continue to grow as the user base grows,
Yeah. One of my best stacks right now, though, is it's not really a lot of money, but I am up to 12% on the Ultimate X-Men, the Peach Momoko, the first issue. So I hold 12% of the supply, which I think is only 72 comics, but there's only like, I want to say 600 or less than 600.
Yeah.
So every time there's a few posted, I'll pick them up, Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was saying on the last stream that it seems like she's going to be like, this is here to stay. She's in like issue 13 on that one. And it's kind of unusual for a run. So I'm thinking it's got a big following and hopefully it's worth something down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosmo, do you hold Omi?
I do. Yeah. I hold, I'm pushing closer to 200 million Omi at this point. So I've been stacking quite a bit. It was kind of funny. Like I held Omi during 2021. And I sold out of it, actually. I sold out of it completely by like November 2021. I think it was like a 0075 was like my exit price. And I told myself, I held a number of different projects or so, and I exited out of a few of them, not nearly enough because I didn't quite know how bad the bear market really does just annihilate nearly everything. But I told myself I was going to kind of wait 2 years into the 4-year cycle, and I was just going to start going in heavier on things and dollar cost average in from like then on out. And I waited for about 2 years. I scooped up things on VeVe here and there, but then 2 years in, which was like, it wasn't like the best timing by any means, but it was my strategy. It was December of 2023, I guess, is kind of when I started going in heavier things. And a lot of the market had started kind of pumping already. And I was like, oh man, I wish I'd kind of gone in 2 months earlier, but followed my strategy. And I've just been dollar cost averaging into a bunch of stuff ever since. So it's been a juicy market, and it's been going down a lot since I've been buying. So I just try to scoop up more.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of stopped buying OMI. I bought some recently, but I stopped buying when that whole thing happened, where it got locked up on Bit4X, because I was dollar cost averaging just here and there. And then for some reason, I just stopped. And then I just started buying into other projects. So I kind of got capped at that. I think I'm at like 50, just a little under 50, I think. And then I stopped. Awesome. And then I haven't really like started going back to it because I started buying Definity, and then I started buying some other things. So I just wanted to be more diversified. I have a pretty good bag of Earth 2 as well. Their coin Essence. But I get distracted from buying that because I earn it every day. So when I see it, like, do I want to spend money on something I earn every day because I already earn it? And if I don't feel like it's going to pump right away. So I'm like, well, why buy a month's worth of Essence when in a month I'll already have that?
Right. So in Earth 2, you buy land and then you have to push a button. It's kind of like Lost. If you remember Lost, they have to push the button every day. So if you don't push, once a day, you push the button, and that's mining your Essence. And then it gets, Ether, and then it gets converted to Essence. Yeah. And you lose some in the conversion for sure. But the more land you have, the more Ether you'll produce to convert to Essence.
Okay.
Yeah, their utility is very very high on the markings compared to like VeVe's utility on their coin too.
Just because it's interwoven in their game.
They're so interwoven together.
Yeah.
So is there a fixed supply of Essence, or are they going to continue to mint tokens for landholders? How does that work?
Yeah, I believe it's 2 billion. It's right around 2 billion.
1 billion.
Is it down to 1 billion now?
Yep. Shane announced 1 billion.
Oh, he did announce 1 billion. Okay, yeah. When he first talked about it, I think he said he was going to be around 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And then we thought 2, but apparently it's only 1 billion. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think I looked last time, it was only almost 250 million Essence created or mined so far, and then there's a halvening mechanism built in. Bill, do you know when that ends or starts?
It's supposed to be real soon. I haven't been tracking it as much as the other guys have, but we're getting near to the point where it's about to happen.
So our land will produce less Essence.
Yeah, half is less, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that makes sense. It's awesome.
And you can use it to buy skins as well. Really, really nice skins that you're going to be able to play in the metaverse. I suggest you check out a video for Earth 2 if you want to see their metaverse. It's freaking amazing. It's a complete 1-to-1 scale of Earth completely, and they have ecosystems and just anything that's on Earth basically is in the game except buildings or man-made items. So like Mount Everest, you could buy land there, and then
things.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually you'll be able to build through. You also get resources from your land, and you'll use those to start building buildings and kind of developing your land.
Yep.
Plus, if you don't really want to get into it, I'm giving away free land on Omi Island, which I just got Sanjay set up. So hit me up if you want to Omi spot.
That's awesome.
And then you could just hang for free.
Yeah, man. No, like I totally agree with the idea of the metaverse land, like especially for projects that will grow in popularity. Like there's several projects that I got in early last bull run on buying land for. You know, they haven't done well in the bull market, but I remember Network was a metaverse that came out, and I had bought some land through them, and they were doing the whole concept of like they were going to have like they had a bank partner on board that we could do loans for, and I was just like super intrigued on where this was going to go. And then other side from Board Ape Yacht Club launched, and they were having their land sale, and so I've scooped up land from a number of different projects. And honestly, I'm hoping VeVe comes through and like delivers land.
I was just about to say that,
at some point as well. So we'll see what happens there.
That was one of the biggest reasons I got into VeVe. Like afterwards, I mean, I was buying a few NFTs, but when we assumed that we were going to get land, I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. But then it got kind of put on the back shelf. So I'm hoping that eventually comes through again. Are you in Cornucopias at all?
I am actually. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I got involved with Cornucopias from the pre-sale of their token and their land. So I scooped up quite a bit of land from theirs. Their custom domes. Yeah. Their Kopi token, their Kopi nodes. So yeah, I'm pretty involved with Cornucopias. I'm a big fan.
I picked up some land. I got one of the larger domes and I think some smaller ones. And I never got into the node. I was just concerned. I was like, well, if I buy the node, could I just scoop up the coin instead and then buy the node later? But then you never know with that. It can always be a gamble with that. But I did buy the land, so I'm pretty bullish on that project too.
Dude, that one they've been building for a long time. They've had good amount of financials. Like they are doing really well and they're doing the right thing. So I'm excited to see where they go.
Have you test run it at all? Have you got into it?
I did. Yeah, I did test run early on when they had first allowed people to test run, just going into their metaverse in general and play their game. And I was just kind of walking around. I didn't do any serious testing, but I was in there, then did like the whole NFT marketplace drop testing when they were doing that early on, and then bought a bunch of their NFTs off the drop. And I tell you,
any of the racing at all?
I haven't done the racing. No, I haven't tested it for a little while since they've added a whole lot of mechanisms, but I've seen the videos of their racing. It's looking really sharp.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we might see racing in VeVe too. It seems like that's a few projects go to get things started. I picked up a few vehicles in Cornucopias just to have a little fun with.
Yeah. I picked up some of the early ones, and I've just kind of held on to them. But yeah, I mean, they've dropped quite a few new ones too that I haven't even really gotten involved in. And they're looking good on the racing track.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I was like, they were offering a transport truck where you're going to be able to like mine resources, and I was just like, I don't think I can. I just don't have the energy, like. Between VeVe and Earth 2 and all, and Eon Rift and some other projects. And I'm like, man, there's just so much to be involved in, not to mention the communities too.
Yeah,
I know. Like one thing I'll say about their drops did very well into the bear market, where it's like if you landed their legendary, which is like their most rare, or their epic, like you got some pretty good value on some of those things. It was amazing for a long time. I don't know how they've done in the last like 6 to 8 months or so, but for a while there, they were doing great.
Yeah, I think the last one I bought was a little Santa Claus bobblehead or something that you would put on your car. Did you get in that one?
I got that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
About that actually. Yeah, I remember.
That was the last one. And then I'm like, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to get in some crypto. And then if the crypto does well, then I'll maybe buy some stuff later or something.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't wait to drive the cars in VeVe, in the VeVeverse. I swear. Like some of those look so amazing in our showrooms. Like it's going to be something special, I think, especially if they have speeds and create games around the vehicles.
Yeah.
That's going to be a draw.
Oh, absolutely. Like some of those cars, when they're stationary too, and they get the lighting effects on them, like they look really, really impressive. Like,
have you been going into the VeVeverse?
Just a little bit. Like I was telling Zombie this early on. So I was part of the beta testers. And so I went in there and kind of like figured out how to place my collectibles, was trying to place my golden moments and things, get the showroom going. And I've never been patient enough to be like the builder that goes into games like Minecraft or whatever, like when I was younger, and spend the time to really build. So I did enough to kind of figure it out. They had a lot of options that I was like not using per se. And I could tell that this was going to be very well taken advantage of by those that are interested in spending the time and getting things right and building just dedicated showrooms and things. So I was telling Zombie, I'm looking forward to the simpler mobile version. My Mac computer also was a little bit slow on populating things as well. So I'm looking forward to the mobile version, drag and drop style, and seeing how that goes. That'll be more my speed.
Yeah, I was really excited to see them drop that house for free. I was like, this will be perfect for me. I'll just put some stuff on some shelves and be good to go.
Now, how do you guys see Omi being integrated in the VeVeverse? Cosmo?
Man, I feel like there are so many possibilities, and I haven't thought about it too in depth other than like they could do games, right, where you could spend money. Like I imagine they're going to really put the community at the forefront of developing the things that you can do in the VeVeverse. At least that's kind of what I hope, because that's where the power is of creativity. And so I can see like use cases of Omi in various things of going in to explore, being able to be in certain people's clubs or join certain groups, you know what I mean? And entrance fees, NFT costs, buying an Omi on all the different licenses, you know, hopefully that ends up happening. What about you guys? What are some of the use cases you see in the VeVeverse with Omi?
Bill?
The
burns, right, for all the furniture, I definitely think is going to be a thing.
That's my thoughts too.
Accessories and things. Yep.
And I hope they just burn.
Like if there's 1,000 users, and what's $1 Omi right now? What is that? 2,600.
How much Omi does he use? He's like 40,000 Omi or something like that, I think, or 4,000, whatever the translation is.
Yeah. So you know, if you make a chair that's like a couple bucks, or a table or whatever, and then you burn almost the entire amount of that in Omi, I could see you could burn through a lot of Omi really quickly. Well, you know, especially just even decorating an entire house.
Right. Well, when an asset is created,
that's what they were going to choose to do, you know.
Right. Well, when an asset's created, there's only an initial cost of either purchasing it from a third-party seller or them creating it themselves. After that, it's gravy. You know, it's like a little money printer, basically. And if you're burning Omi constantly with those items that are being picked up and used in the VeVeverse, God, I can't even do the math on that. That's a lot. You know, increase our user base.
The number one factor is the VeVe items that they create, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, big time.
We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think long term for the VeVeverse? What does that hold? Like the direction basically of the whole platform?
I mean, I kind of wonder like where this is all going to go. Like, so I've been involved in Bored Ape Yacht Club's Metaverse, like other side, and done some of their testing, and I hold a bunch of their land, and I've been paying attention to see like what they're developing, what kinds of partnerships they're working on, because I think that they're going to be a major player in the Metaverse space. I just do. And so as I've seen them partner, like they're partnering, their goal is to do like 200 partnerships in their other side Metaverse, and they're well underway. But I'm like looking at them and seeing what kind of potential VeVe will do. Theirs isn't going to be the same, and nor do I think they should try to be the same as other sides. But I see just different partnerships with companies that could do advertising, could do shopping there. Certainly collectible shopping, obviously, as people set up certain collection shops that, you know, as items become scarce, right? Grails and things like that, you can go in and check some whale that's got a bunch of that collectible and see all the mint numbers. You can just go in person. But then hangouts, I do see hangouts happening, like especially to go do content, I see
Yeah.
people making a living off of just building VeVeVerse items. Like I've been watching streams of people building the VeVeVerse. I'm like, I can't believe I'm like watching people build, but it's
Yeah.
captivating.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hire somebody. Right? That's just way faster.
Collector's gone wild. He's doing that right now, and he's got a couple commission spaces that he's working on.
Yeah.
That guy's a killer, man.
He's the one I was watching. I was like
Yeah.
blown away how fast he is. I was like, dang.
Yeah, exactly. He surprised me. I watched him when he first got onto VeVe, and his like polished content and his creativity with building his channel and his spaces that he does. He put a lot of time and effort into that. And I think it's paying off right now, big time.
I think another good use for Omi too in the VeVeVerse, on a side note, made me think of it, is obviously to pay people to do services, right?
Yeah.
To even continue to build, like land management contracts.
Right.
If they build a metaverse for you that's pretty large and you don't want to upkeep with it, you're just gonna, continue to buy, because we're gonna continue to buy NFTs probably all the time. Switch out pictures and do different things. If we don't want to deal with that, there might be some good contracts be able to be paid in Omi. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
The other thing. Oh, go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, I was just going to say, I look forward to the time where, we can go into the space and see somebody's showroom or somebody's, house or whatever, and click on one of their collectibles and be able to purchase it with Omi, at where you're not even interacting kind of with the web platform at that time. You're now just in the space and, purchasing with Omi and interacting with people,
Yep. I mean, who knows? Like there could be like live auctions in the VeVeVerse where you're sitting there with a group of people doing your auction, like through your digital like avatar, like who knows how that's going to play
That'd be
out.
great.
One thing I'll be curious about is to see how AI starts to change the metaverse and your capabilities, right? Like I've heard it alluded to that, like you'll be able to manage your showroom with AI by just telling it what you want to build. And the more specific you get, like it'll just throw your collectibles in that organization and that pattern. So I'm like, dang, whenever that becomes a thing, if and when, that would sure help me out. And I look forward to see how that accelerates the building process.
Well, think also in all the different projects you're involved in too. Imagine trying to keep VeVeVerse going, Cornucopias, and any other land projects you're in. You almost need like an AI assistant to guide your avatar when you're not around, and then maybe give you a notification when somebody gives you a message or something, and then you could pop in.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Profit mentioned AI a couple times for Stacker, and being able to move your Omi around, purchase other cryptos, and convert with AI seamlessly. So it definitely seems like they're going to be using it around the VeVeVerse, and Ben had mentioned AI being something they're looking into now. I envision AI walking around as an avatar, as a little Omi homie, and you interact with it, because what people don't want is to go in there and not have anything to do, right? They don't want to be bored. Yeah. And if there's a little AI that pops up or walks around and interacts, and you can mess with it, or it can mess with you even, and have kind of conversations about collecting, and it be versed in VeVe and the IP. I think that'd be detrimental for somebody coming in that's new, that isn't familiar like we all are with VeVe, and gets familiarized with the platform and the VeVeVerse.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that like David was talking about that very thing like years ago, right? About AI being able to converse, like integrate it into the collectibles, and you could be conversing like with your Batman or whatever like that. And I'm like, to think about, they were talking about that then, and then since we've had the launch of all these language learning models, right? Like ChatGPT, like he was talking about that stuff before all that, and you think, gosh, man, now you can kind of see how all of this is going to be able to come to fruition like pretty easily once they decide to pull the trigger and release it and get it going.
Oh yeah. You remember back in San Diego, we were messing with AI. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that was such a fun trip, man. That was so much fun.
It was a blast. Yeah, we made Doc, I believe, and Cosmo made a video of Donald Trump promoting the Omi coin as a did we use World Reserve? I can't remember, but
I
we had
can't even remember, but yeah, we used Trump's voice to like be promoting Omi, right?
Yeah, and
That's
now
amazing.
look at him. I mean, he's definitely keeping his promise in that way. I feel it's all going to take time, but the direction and the effort and time he's putting into it, I don't have a doubt that this will be the future for sure.
Yeah. It's such a late start to the bull run, though, right? What are your thoughts on that? Like timing with everything. Do you think that? I don't know, what are your thoughts before I throw in speculation?
I mean, for me, it's definitely happening later than I thought, for sure. I was thinking that, I mean, Bitcoin, well, I'll take it back. Bitcoin was like going up as I kind of imagined it. And it even went up a little bit faster, like when it got up to 100,000 real fast there. I was like, whoa, this is really moving. And then not too much else followed it, right? And then we had that XRP and some of those ISO coins like make their move. But I definitely thought that there was going to be moves before now, and I still very much think that the bull run will happen just as it did 4 years ago and 8 years ago. Just timing is just a little bit different. The cycles seem to rhyme; they're not exactly the same, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't be rigid-minded when it comes to this too, because we have so many different factors putting pressure, pushing and pulling on this industry, right? And the uncertainty and everything with Trump, and we got to allow some patience in our expectations too. But I think that's going to be the rubber band effect. You keep pulling back, and once a lot of things are in place, and the future's kind of more written. I think it's going to take off. That's my guess.
And then you also have the effect of us. We're finally going to get some regulation of some sort. Some direction for crypto as a whole for the U.S. government, right? Like something's going to be placed. We don't know what it is, but
clarity.
Clarity, will be there somewhat soon. I would think it sounds soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you look at projects like VeVe, right, that have been like teasing that they've got some major player in the traditional finance world on, signed contract and everything. And so when they release that partner and you see more traditional finance get involved because of the regulations that have made it more clear and there's a pathway to follow. I mean, I think that we're going to run into that chain reaction, right? Where things will just build on each other and we'll get that hype cycle once again.
Yeah. So many good, news events are poised to happen for sure. Like they released or they're going to release their marketplace, which I'm still learning about. I'm kind of new to VeVe, but from what I know, I can hold my crypto, put it on the exchange, and then a contract is created when it's purchased or whatever, where I don't have to send it anywhere. It's a mutual agreement that happens in seconds, and then the exchange is made. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm real disappointed I didn't get into VeVe.
It's not too late. Not too late.
I saw it at 14, or it was like 16 cents, and I'm like,
oh god,
it can go down to 14 or 12. And then I was buying Definity though, and I was just stacking Definity, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this, and then I'm like, I think I'm gonna buy some VeVe. I'll wait though, I got time. And then it just, like no.
It's crazy how
but then it came back down, so I still got time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What do you guys think about the program that VeVe's about to release for the content creator?
Yeah.
Oh yes, what do they call? What is the name? I keep calling it the ambassador program, but The affiliate program. Yeah, I think it's big news. I think it really is. I don't think it'll like be big right away. I think it'll build slowly. But I think they'll start off with content creators that are in the VeVe fam. Obviously, we know that like Doc and Randy and Rain and others have talked about being contacted by the affiliate marketing guy. And I think they'll start with them and then move on to even bigger and bigger YouTube creators or content creators. And the sky's the limit, honestly. I think that's where the word spreads. I love it. I think it's going to be big.
Yeah, Earth 2, when they rolled out initially, they had a percentage that you would get from anybody you signed up or that used your code basically, and then they would get the discount as well, right? And since they've gained some steam, they even upped that amount that they were doing. I think it was like 3 or 4%. Now it's somewhere around the 7% range. And I'm very curious how VeVe might use that in a way, because you give people an incentive to purchase and to share your code and tell other people about VeVe. That can definitely be a snowball effect as well.
And is Sanjay supposed to reveal some of that tomorrow, or is he just talking about it on Randy's stream? Does anybody know?
I think he's hosting a space at 8, I believe, tomorrow.
Oh, space? Okay.
Yeah, or no, it's on Randy's stream. Sorry, but he's going to be involved. I'm not sure if there's a announcement that's happening. He didn't say that, but he said they're going to be talking about it.
It's in the morning or in the evening?
Evening, I believe.
Okay.
I think he said 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, he said 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw his tweet. I saw his post on X that he was like been refreshing X consistently this week to see if there's any updates from VeVe on it. So I don't know if he's going to be in the know for tomorrow or if they're just speculating. I'll be curious. I'll have to tune in.
Randy's preparing. Did you hear? He's going to shut down streaming for like a few days and just hit the streets. He's so funny. He literally said that.
He's such a good ambassador to the projects he's into.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's so good at talking to people and getting them at least intrigued or informed on the projects.
Yeah. Well, I remember when the crypto winter started and everything started to go down and it was kind of bleak. He was a big inspiration to me, talking about going out there and talking to whales. That's the first time really I heard about that. And he did it, and he's built this amazing community of like-minded investors that see the future in this stuff. And, he had enough OMI. He could have just sat back and waited, but instead of that, he put in work and effort, and I think it's paying off for sure for him.
He's like the unofficial official ambassador. For VeVe, he's like the one that's kept it all like together during this bear market for sure.
Yeah, like the connections he'll get to like buy a gold logo, right? Like Andrew Jeek or Jeek. And he's gotten several others like interested in buying logos. I'm like, wow, I'll tell Randy.
He got me to buy 2 of them. And I was holding out forever, and I'm just like, Randy, I already talked to these guys. Like, do I really need one? And then he's like, you don't understand the access, the just the prizes you're gonna get. And I'm like, all right, and then I ended up getting one, and then sure enough, I bought another one later. But I'm like, but honestly, the moment I did that, Dr. Profit and me did a deal like right after I bought those logos. And at the time, I think it almost more than paid for both of them.
That is so cool.
And I would never have access to Dr. Profit before that,
Right.
And it just instantly, I could message him anytime I wanted. And I was like, wow, there's some power to this logo.
Yep. And that's just the beginning, right? Like this is like all the time bear market, and just wait till, at least this is how I feel, is just wait till another bull run and hype cycle and NFT narrative hits.
Oh yeah.
And you start getting bigger and bigger people entering the space with more and more money. Like it has potential to create some pretty special connections.
Yeah. And I think Sanjay has really put put the whole community aspect to a test with all the different chat rooms he's created and the different membership programs. And when this does blow up, like people are gonna be dying to get into those chat rooms.
Yeah, the
It's
heavy
been
hitters. Yep.
Yeah, they will be.
like Sanjay, he's been a gem. Like the amount of time and effort that he's just put in just for free, just to like help elevate the community and help make like certain things special. Like, man, I appreciate all the effort he's put in so much. It's been amazing.
And he's a heavy hitter himself. I mean, just to even have him, just to be able to message him is a big deal, you know?
Right.
I didn't realize that right away, but then I started realizing, you know, it's good to have these guys around, you know, to be able to ask questions or just hang with, because you know you can learn so much from the industry that you're not in, and then apply it to the one you're in, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to the Marvel program he's gonna roll out hopefully soon. You know, the Marvel logo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you have to have, how many did you have to have of those? Just one, or didn't you have to have like 10?
They didn't say it yet. I don't think officially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I sold mine. I made, I think, $100.
I did too.
Yeah, but you know, I wasn't gonna buy a bunch of them, and I was just
Right.
like, I'm gonna sell.
Did you get it on drop?
No, I forgot. I think I bought it for like $12, $16.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think I sold it for like 120 or something.
Yeah, that was one of those surprise drops.
that
was one of those surprise drops that VeVe did that I was like, wait, what? What happened? And
you know what I said though? I go, why didn't I buy 10? That's what I was thinking. Right after I bought it for that certain price, I'm like, let me just get this one real quick because I was busy. Why didn't I buy 10? And it's like we're gonna be saying that with everything down the road.
So true, man.
Yeah, no regrets.
Why didn't I buy more?
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of MC1 commons on the floor right now for a ridiculous price. Why am I not buying them?
I know those ones you mentioned for 16. I scooped all of those up today. I bought them all.
Good for you, dude. There was like 20 of them. And
yes,
I'm like,
I bought like 30
why didn't I
plus.
do that?
Who was selling?
There was one person that was selling like 15 of them. I don't know who it was. Honestly, I saw the same profile pic, but then there was a few different ones that were selling. I just scooped everything that was below 20.
Yep, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, those stacks are going to pay off. I really believe that. You know, I've been stacking 3-digit Ultraman comics. The first manga on VeVe, I think that's going to hold some weight in the future. You know, so I'm just getting all 3-digit mints and trying to stack. Doesn't matter what rarity it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be ready to roll soon. I just in my industry is slow right now, so after April it's going to be go time.
Yeah. Enjoy the peace, right?
Yeah. I've been sleeping in every morning. It's been great.
When you guys foresee things kind of starting to escalate this cycle for the bull run, like, you know, here in a few months, couple months, next month, 6 months?
I think we're just waiting on Trump. That's what I really think it is. I think a couple months personally. I think we could just get something locked in, something solid that they can talk about, because he seems to be moving quick on everything.
Yeah.
I'm shocked with all the work he's gotten done so far. But if they can just give us something solid for the crypto market to jump on and be excited about, whether it's all American companies don't have to pay taxes, or it's, you know, certain things aren't securities, whatever it is, just something that we can just get the ball rolling. I think within the next couple of months, May, June, I would think we're going to start seeing some rockets, hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely think all the work that VeVe's been doing thus far, you know, building the strong foundation and doing the right things at the right times, you know, I think it will pay off for them for sure. You know, once people start coming in and seeing, you know, a lot of different aspects of VeVe and what they can do and kind of get into and dip their toes into. And then, like you said, with regulations on the horizon,
Yeah.
Clarity about your collectibles. I mean, that's a huge one, especially with NFTs. Nobody knows like what category their sales and buys go into, and all of that. So yeah, I think summertime too, around then, once they put some time and effort into putting some regulations and some words that reach us, I think that'll
Which
be the
is
time.
historically, isn't summer usually bad for crypto?
Right.
Like, because people go on vacations, like maybe
Yeah,
June.
it typically is. I was looking back at 8 years ago when Trump was president, and it seemed like, Bitcoin and things started making moves in the summer, actually, and then a lot of the
Yeah.
market started to follow, a couple months after.
Yeah.
But I need to do a little bit more in-depth analysis of 8 years ago, because I feel like maybe this could be closer to that than it
Yeah.
was 4 years ago. Because like you were saying, Bill, is like Trump's style, kind of his MO is he kind of goes in and he ruffles feathers as he renegotiates his positions,
Yeah.
goes in real strong to kind of like be able to get a position that he feels like is more closer to the middle. But he really does like create some firestorms. And then as he gets the positions he's interested or feels he can get, then things start coming together and get a little bit more like, oh, okay, well, this is why things were going on that way. And
Yeah.
once that dust settles, things start to go off to the races.
He is smart, man. Where he'll like just announce something like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna fire the IRS or something." Like, but then
Yeah.
then he'll pull back and be like, "Well, maybe we'll just fire half of them."
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
we'll just-
you're
Yeah.
more willing to work with them if you think your job's on the line,
They're
right?
like, "What?" Yeah, and they're like, "Well, you know what? Maybe we're just not gonna pay taxes at all." And then they're like, "Okay, we'll come to the table." Like, yeah. So
No,
we'll see what happens. He's good at that, man. He's
Yeah,
a
there's a
negotiator.
method. There's a method to his madness. It's
Yeah.
not just from the hip and this madman. It might come off like that to people that don't understand. Kind of
Mhm.
what he's doing and the direction he wants, I believe, America to go into. It's very purposeful with his actions. His words, yes and no. Sometimes he does, say what he thinks a lot, which is good and bad in certain situations. But I think his vision is solid, and he's got a lot of strong people around him to get what he wants done in his presidency for these 4 years.
Yeah, and it's good for that shock value is great for when you're negotiating and making deals. People are willing to give up things that they normally wouldn't give up if they're desperate or if they think that
Yep.
they might be losing everything, So just gives us a better bargaining chip.
Yeah, definitely.
See what happens. But yeah, maybe normally, yeah, Jamie says, can't wait. Yeah, me too, Jamie. Yeah, I think just May, June might be the time. We'll see.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like at least for Bitcoin, I like to see it making some moves throughout the summer, but we'll see.
I sold some more gold and I put it in a Cardano. And
Oh,
the
that's
reason why,
right. Yeah, you held like a lot of gold and silver, right?
yeah, I did. I've just been liquidating it over time. And I was like, well, gold is not going to 10x, and I think Cardano will. I think gold, sure, it'll double maybe, at the most probably, or even if it 2x's, let's say it goes to 10,000, it's still not going to 10x. And I think Cardano could even 10x, but my thought was putting it in Cardano right now was just to do the trickle down, so that I'm hoping if there is a big announcement saying uh, that there's no tax on American crypto, maybe it'll double or triple to where I can then sell it and then put a pile into, a lower cap was my thinking on that.
With the ETFs, right?
Yeah, they're doing a Cardano ETF too.
Yeah, that's going to be
That's going to be
amazing.
huge.
Exactly. How long do we got you here, Cosmo?
I could probably go here for another, honestly, like 30 minutes. So
Okay.
Jamie says,
Sounds
Jamie
good.
says the art of the deal.
Art of the deal.
I can just pull them up. Let me show. I've never done that before.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
I learned how to do it. I'm going to put that one next.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm learning.
Yeah, I was telling
Awesome.
Cosmo he's our first guest, so it's kind of a FA here.
I know this is
Show.
FA right now.
I'll take
And
it.
I was like,
FA's
I'm not even
live.
showing up.
Yeah.
No, for some
No,
reason
I
I
love
thought
it.
it was
I
at
love it.
11. I don't know why, but we actually I just got back. Me and my family were on an adventure to some bouncy play thing called Urban Air up by us in
Oh,
Ohio. I
nice.
don't know if they have.
Love
Yeah.
trampoline parks.
Yeah, they're so much fun. So we got back. We drove like an hour back, and then we just got in. And I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, I got time.
I kept messaging. I was like, okay, is he going to see this one? Is he going to see that one?
Yeah, because normally you just sent me a link in the you send me a link in the in on Twitter, but this time you emailed it to me, so I was like, oh, it's a little different. So I didn't even look.
Yeah, that was your admin link.
Wes, does Cardano do anything? No, Wes, it doesn't. It's just gonna make me money.
Make
No,
it back.
Cardano does do something. It is the railway for Cornucopias, at least.
Yeah, that's one project that's strong that's built on Cardano.
Yeah,
it is a
and
fair
let me tell
point,
you.
though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do feel like Wes does make somewhat of a fair point with Cardano because it hasn't built as much as I think a lot of people were hoping and expecting that they could build, or have built on it.
Yeah.
But now that Trump has put it on the limelight as an American stockpile reserve, I think that's going to breathe in a whole nother level of life into it, and will bring a lot of builders to it. So it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. I think you're onto something, Bill. I think it will do well because I do think it's undervalued right now compared to where it's going to be as that life continues to be, breathed into it. So
Yeah.
I anticipate you'll get some good gains out of it.
Yeah, I think so, and I'd like to trickle them down too, not just hold on to them.
Yeah, that game's going to be very interesting, and there's a lot of plays for VeVe as well with that, with Omi and collectibles. Brock had mentioned that before. He was excited about the arbitrage possibilities, and
Oh my
right now
gosh.
it doesn't seem that way because there's no real, new users. So everybody's just feeding off each other, and they're kind of like a little stagnant at this point. But once we get new blood and people, that are new and excited about the projects and the collectibles and everything, I think that's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how people play that.
I've already been doing it on Stacker. You got to be careful because if you post something and the price of Omi drops, like you're
Yeah,
about to lose your
careful.
shirt.
Cosmo,
So
have you
you got to
purchased
keep an eye
anything?
on those prices.
Have you purchased anything in Omi, Cosmo? Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, I have nothing significant. I did the beta testing early on and was just kind of buying back and forth a ton of comics for super, super cheap just to test, the load capacity of how many it could handle at one time with a bunch of other people. And so we were doing that. And then since then, I've just bought a handful of collectibles with Omi. And it'll be interesting if they allow people to buy Omi with credit card, like how you can buy gems with credit card. I wonder if that will really influence people's ability and desire to buy the collectibles with Omi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the incentive with not having the fees attached to it as high, that's a selling point for when you're buying $2,000, $5,000 collectibles. When the prices go up. I remember trading in gems and doing wheeling and dealing with Omi and all of that, and to save a couple $100, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that moves the market as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a game changer for sure.
Yeah,
And there'll be so many opportunities to buy an item. The price drops or goes up, you flip it. Even if you're making a couple bucks, there's gonna they're doing that now on Earth too, man. There's so many. I don't do it, but there's so many guys that are in the Lone Wolves. Even like Nizza's really good at it, and a couple other guys too. And they will just buy these side droids for 5 cents or whatever. I forget the price, 25 cents, and they'll sell it for like 27 or 28. And then the price will drop back down. They're buying it for 25, and then they're also they're burning the crypto to create the side droids to then flip them for higher gains. So, but they're working with pennies, but their pennies, they add up to hundreds of dollars very quickly.
Right.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And just to relate that to Stacker, there are going to be guys that are penny pinching on Stacker, and that will be full-time jobs for them, guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, yeah, definitely happens. Well, like they do that with bots all the time on OpenSea, where they're just like buying things, like not even an arbitrage between like Ethereum and, you know, another currency. They're just buying like sniping stuff with bots and then just selling it for a little bit more and making a few bucks after the gas fees or something like that. They're doing that across all sorts of projects. It's crazy.
Are you an Eon Rift at all?
I'm not. No.
Okay, I learned about them from comics and crypto, but I've been buying a few of their NFTs. They're building a metaverse. It's kind of a cool concept. I'll tell you more about it later on. But
you want to show those?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
I don't have them pulled up right now, but yeah, I'll pull up one. You know what? I'd have to log in, but I just wanted to make the point that I've noticed that the Ethereum transaction fees on OpenSea, they're like a quarter. It's like so much cheaper than it used to be, man. I remember like sometimes it'd be like $50 and you're like, whoa, hold on a second here. And now it's almost never that high, ever.
Is Ethereum a dead token now, or what?
No, they've created some efficiencies,
right?
is my understanding.
Oh, okay.
They've created some efficiencies with it. I don't know what they did exactly, and the volume's not as high as it was, like, you know, in the hype of the bull run.
Yeah.
But they've done something different to lower the gas fees. I just haven't looked into the technicals.
Yeah, like when I'm buying a $32 Rifter, whatever, they're really cheap right now. It's 26 cents or something. I'm like blown away by it. I don't even remember that in the last bear market. You know, usually you were still paying freaking $5-10, you know?
Dude, I got way into NFTs like on OpenSea and things last bull market. And it was like that. I was paying like $200 for a transaction, but it was like, it didn't matter because you're buying an NFT for like a couple grand and you're like selling it the next day for $5,000. And it was like, okay, $200 gas fee. I'll do that all day for those kinds of gains.
Yep.
I'm like,
still making the gains. Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy.
What do you guys think about the comic creator program that they're going to launch? I forget the name of it, but
the curator program.
Yeah, the curator program. Exactly. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Cosmo.
I mean, I just love what VeVe is doing. Like, they're so forward thinking on these things because this is just the beginning of something that is going to bring in talent that right now they may not be big, but it is going, I'm convinced that it is going to bring in certain talents that are going to become something, and they'll have started on VeVe. And as VeVe grows, like, it will just continue to draw interested parties because they see what they're able, they see what they're able to do with the comics that launch on it, where creators are coming in and they're selling and they're making money on their art or things, and they're interested in coming and bringing their talents to VeVe to see what they can make of it. I'm super excited about it. Yeah,
the independent aspect of that is going to be huge. They're building this foundation where you can't. It's almost too big to envision right now. Right? It's like, oh, they're just going to be, people creating comics. But think 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, this is still going to be here. And like you said, there's going to be people that create comics that are going to be names. We'll know, and from VeVe. So the eyeballs, they're fans of their content that come onto VeVe and get introduced for the first time. I think that's going to be unprecedented for our growth. I also thought that this might be them dipping their toes in the water to this and opening up the door for NFTs to be created through VeVe. Art projects or, communities that might not necessarily want to handle and do their own, NFT drops. But VeVe has this, mechanism and built-in audience that it's going to be worth something to communities and creators.
Can you guys see that screen that I just shared?
Oh, I will bring it up.
Okay. So I wanted to show you this. Okay, so this is Eon Rift, but I want this is outside the Rifters. This is just the comic book that they got, but look how it's animated.
So they're animated comic books?
They are, and you can. So they have a different kind of mechanism going on. They basically sold on OpenSea, which was a little bit of a mistake because of the gas fees and all that. But this is their first comic, and it was only like I think 8 pages or something like that. It was a smaller because they were doing it in parts, but they did it so that the covers were animated, and then you'd have one animated page per comic, and then if you wanted to get a full comic that was fully animated, you'd have to take 10 different comics. I think it was 10 pages actually. And you had to burn 10 comics into this one full animated page.
Yes.
And it was really cool how they did it. And which obviously makes it super rare, and it burns up a ton of comics. But I just wanted to show you this so you could see not only how cool it is to look at the images on every scene, but also that VeVe needs to do this.
I agree. I love the idea of animated comic books and covers.
It's so interesting, and it just makes it
Something
more
you can
vibrant,
only
almost
do
like
with
you're
the
watching a
digital
movie,
version.
but you're also reading, right?
Separation.
Yeah, and then also it's a great way to burn up all the comics. Like, you have something with 30,000 comics or something, it would be easy to implement a program like that. Hey, buy a motion page instead. And in that way, it wouldn't take away from the secret rare, the ultra rare. None of that matters if you just say, hey, you burn these to create a motion comic.
You know what? That's a really good point because we're already seeing them do that with the Marvel Mighties, right? They're like, you can burn your FA Marvel Mighty, but you can get this motion one that does some certain, graphic or whatever. So it could be coming. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that for the comic side.
Yeah, and then you don't have to give it that logo that takes away from anyone's collection, right? You're creating something new, and it just makes it that much more interesting, and everyone's going to want the motion comic too.
Yeah. I mean, I really could see them doing a burn mechanism for some of these higher, edition comics, like Wes's comment earlier of there being like 48,000 common MC1s, right? He thinks I'm crazy for stacking those. And I'm just like, you know what? It's already built into the price. I'm not expecting the Marvel comic #1s to go to $50,000 for a common. They're only $20 now. So if they go to $500, I mean, that's a 40 or whatever. That's, 40X.
We've already seen them $500
or 20.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would just be retracing, right?
And that wasn't even with a million users yet.
It's right. Yeah.
It wasn't even close.
And you know how pissed I was when they were like $6 and I only bought 10 of them? And of course I was selling them like,
more than I did.
$15. This is incredible. Oh, I'm going to sell another one at 30. Oh, now 45. And then I ran out, and then I saw it climb to 500 and I'm like, no, are you kidding me?
I did that same thing with my Amazing Spider-Man #1s where they just kept climbing, and I sold out of all of them, I think, except for I had one left. I'd sold all of them out at like $100, and they climbed all the way to like 360. I was like, dang, I did not see that coming.
So I don't know. I might message Sanjay to present this to Ben, because he's more well received. But this idea has got to get to them.
Or Ben might watch. He was on the stream, I think, our last one. So Ben, if you're watching,
at that time we were talking about a different project, and I was like, "Dang, are you kidding me right now?" Like, just who knows how long he was watching for, though. But
so it brings up a good question actually that I hadn't thought of until just now. Is do you think that VeVe will release a comic like their own, the VeVe comic?
I think they should. That would be amazing.
I don't know exactly what it'd be about. Would it be about Dave and Dan? What's that?
You're talking about because of the new program and then do it in VeVe Comics?
Not because of the new program, but I mean, they've got their own VeVe collectibles, right? So I was just like, oh, well, like, what if they did release the VeVe comic and maybe it's the story of David and Dan as superheroes? I don't know what they'd do.
That would be great because they already kind of like partnered with Addiction, right? but that was only like labeled with VeVe logo on there, but it wasn't like about VeVe.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, just that idea popped in my mind of what if they
Yeah.
ever decided to do something like that? It'd be interesting.
Oh,
Well,
it'd be incredible,
look at
and
the
everybody would buy it.
look at the Epic Regal collectibles that they launched. I mean, there's a demand, like Randy said. You know, I don't know if once a month is quite the direction VeVe wants to go, but that avenue is there for them whenever they want.
Let me see if I can. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to see if I can pull up a different page. Can you go back to the regular screen, Zombie?
Yeah.
And then I'll stop screen this one.
I saw some post about an animated comic cover of the Hulk shooting like a machine gun, and it went viral. And I don't know where that originated from. And that's the first one I saw that was animated. And I was like, whoa, VeVe's got to do something like that because that is super cool.
By Marvel. Oh, he froze.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
You coming back?
I think I lost you guys.
Oh,
just yours. I can hear you.
You're frozen.
The screen is frozen.
Yeah, I lost you guys there. I can hear you now.
Okay. Do you want to go out and then come back in?
Yeah. Am I still lagging?
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
Okay, sweet.
All right, give me 1 minute. I'm going to check something.
So was that Hulk put out by Marvel?
I don't think so. I don't even know where it originated from, but it looked good. And
I know a lot of people are using AI to animate images.
I mean, it probably was something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they added just a page in our comics and you burn, let's say 10 of whatever, and you got an animated page in your comic, even that, right? You don't have to do the whole comic. If they just wanted to do a page, that alone, would be big, in my opinion.
Yeah, I found it here. Let's share the screen so I could show you one page that's fully animated here. Hold on, share screen. Here we go. All right, that's just an example of one page.
Yes, I love it.
Isn't that amazing? But yet, you can still read it, but everything has a different animation and a different style to it.
So cool, man.
So do you think that go ahead?
Oh yeah, I just think that this will captivate the younger audiences with comic books as they utilize animations.
Yeah.
Big time.
This is just the beginning, right?
Right. Now, do you think that should negate the FA tag on a comic?
I do personally, like when they're doing that with the Marvel Mighties and you burn the FA and it makes the FA more scarce.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that because I don't like the idea of them bringing on another collectible like years later that maintains this FA tag. So I'm all for them. Like you burn that FA and that's gone, but you do get this newer version that's probably going to be a lot more scarce. So you kind of have that trade off and you let the community decide. So I like that when they burn the FAs and they don't give the FA tag to the new one.
And I don't even care if there's an FA tag if you have a comic like this, right? Like,
I don't want to hear it.
Everyone's gonna want the motion activated once it's a possibility, right? They're gonna say, "I got to burn all these other comics." Obviously, you don't want to make it so you can burn all of them, but you know what I mean.
Right. It's interesting with the Mighty Marvels you brought up with Doom. I don't know if you knew, but I did a poll with who's going to burn their FA Doom for an animated Doom. And I think 69% said they weren't going to do it. But the price of the Doom now animated is above $100 last time I checked. Yeah. Which I was surprised about. I know there's only, I believe, $5.99 available. So it is a limited supply, and it's not an FA. So I was curious how that was going to play out, and I'm a little bummed I didn't grab one when it was 60.
Yeah. Well, how much is the FA Doom right now? I haven't looked at that one in a while.
I think it was like 80.
80. So that's what I kind of figure is it'll likely balance out on the price of these because the new one, even though it's not FA, is going to have a lot more scarcity to it.
Mhm.
So that's what's going to drive up the price. And there's going to be that triage where people are like, okay, well, like, shoot, I'm going to burn this FA so that I can sell this one for more, or vice
Right.
versa. Like, I'm going to, yeah. So
Yeah.
I like the idea personally.
Did you
Yeah,
guys?
and it gives both value. They're both holding value. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys see the Doom animated build that Kid Arcade did?
I didn't.
Let's see. I'm not sure. I feel like, no, I can't think of it exactly off the top of my head. It
It
sounds
was a,
familiar, but
it was a
can't place
couple
it.
days ago. He built a
Oh yeah,
platform
no.
with lights and a big backdrop, and he put his Doom on there with electricity. It was dope. It was really
Oh, I
cool.
haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up. Kid Arcade did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say I didn't get into the Doom. I don't own an original.
Oh,
I didn't buy one to change it either. I just wasn't interested, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah,
there's tons of people that are. Just Doom wasn't really ever a real character, for me. That's all.
yeah. I totally get it. Like, he's my favorite villain.
Mhm.
So, I had to get the FA, of course, sub,
Yeah.
of course. But he does Kid Arcade does a time lapse build video. It's pretty cool. You can see like the creative juices flowing in it. So yeah, really neat.
And I think that, we could see a resurgence though of Doom, because it really hasn't. The movies haven't been the greatest for Fantastic Four.
Mhm.
Hopefully,
Right.
is James Gunn controlling that one? Or is he
The one
doing the
that they're
Fantastic
doing
Four?
with, I don't know, actually.
I
I think it
think
might
it's
be
under
James
new
Gunn.
direction. So to my understanding, they're building a whole like DCU universe that he's kind of in charge of, maybe. And I'm hoping they're going to revamp Doom so he's going to be like people can relate with the character and everyone's going to want him.
Right. Well,
Especially
isn't
with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Robert Downey Jr. is going to
Mhm.
breathe life into that character for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I said
So,
DCU. I meant MCU. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. The other thing I was going to ask you guys too, I wanted to pick your brain on is, what do you guys think VeVe has held back for this year to release, or what have they been working on? Any thoughts on that? I'm curious to hear.
Go ahead, Zombie.
Put me on the spot here. That they've held back. I think sports possibility. I think we're going to get sports this summer. What that details, I don't know, but I think David's been working hard. I think he's getting those licenses and working on agreements to give us more content, obviously. So I think sports is probably going to come in the summertime. That's my guess.
Love it. What about you, Bill?
I am waiting for the Fortnite partnership announcement. That's highly speculative and not confirmed. But no, really, actually, the Fortnite one is confirmed. We just don't know if it's that Fortnite partnership.
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean it's confirmed?
Al Khan said a couple years ago that that VeVe has a partnership with Fortnite.
Really? I didn't know that. I missed that. I've seen a couple of his older videos where they had talked about, like, Niantic partnership, or whatever, that built Pokemon Go, things like that. I hadn't heard that one. Crazy.
Yeah. So what else could it be? Why would you, unless you're just going to sell the Fortnite characters on VeVe, which is a possibility, but why?
Yes.
Right. So,
I mean,
so are you thinking that in the metaverse that Disney and Fortnite is building, that VeVe are going to be the collectibles for the digital space?
That's what I'm speculating. But I would think if they are going to announce that, it wouldn't be told towards the end of the bull run, personally. So who knows when that's going to be if we're running late. It could be into kind of like how it happened last run, where VeVe didn't pump till the end, right?
Mhm.
So we could see that. We could see it going into next year in the beginning, if
Yeah,
for
I can
for
see
an
that.
announcement like that. And we still haven't seen the announcement for GTA. You know, everyone's been waiting for this new GTA, and I
Yeah, we
think
may
they're
be
going to be
waiting for
putting
a
crypto
while.
in that too.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I'm totally
Cosmo?
aligned with you. I'm totally aligned with you, Bill, on the Fortnite theme. Like, even though I don't have, I didn't even know that announcement or whatever from Alcon, but in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm just like, I know Fortnite and Disney. Disney got a stake in Fortnite, and
Yeah.
my understanding is there's some sort of stake in Cavernous that's building the VeVeverse.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I definitely think that there's something to that, and that VeVe is somehow in the mix. I've been so impressed with the partnerships that VeVe or that Dan and David have been able to create, and the things that they've been able to hold back. Like when they just out of the blue announced that they had a Funko Pop full on physical that they
Yeah.
were ready to launch, and that nobody had heard anything about it. And then they were just like launching it. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a big partnership, and
That's
nobody had
huge.
heard anything. And then Blackpink, nobody had heard
Yeah.
anything. Like I didn't even actually know like about Blackpink or anything. I guess that shows you how little I know about the whole K-pop world.
Yeah.
But like when I started learning about how big of a brand they are and YG Studios, I was like, oh my gosh, the fact that they literally kept that so quiet. They are excellent at keeping some of these big deals completely quiet. So
Oh yeah.
I very much think that there's a lot in the works that they've been holding back.
And that whole partnership could even be, like when they say we don't have gaming for VeVe, like Ben said, we don't have game going on. That could be because the partnership could be the gaming's over there and we're just marketplace over here, or
I
Yes.
would
you
not be
just
mad
walk
at
through the
that.
portal, right?
I
There's no
know.
need
Like,
to build a game then, right?
I
No.
mean, yeah, and honestly, I do see a partnership with Pokemon. Like, I absolutely see it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no information about it at all, so it's all
Right.
speculation. But like, I see one with that. I see one with Nintendo, like with Alcon's relationships there. Like, I think it makes a ton of sense. Like, they just need to, like you were saying, their timing is very important for big brands like that. And I don't think it's going to come until there's already a lot of excitement and energy around that space.
And look at the partnerships we're getting too, like how they just dropped Garbage Pail Kids, just out of nowhere. Even though it was just a comic, everyone loves Garbage Pail Kids. It just sold like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
no one knew. And
Yep.
that's another one of his IPs, though, Alcon.
Yep.
Well, so is Pokemon. So is all. I think he was affiliated with all of them. All the main IP we've seen is
Yeah.
all
Yes.
Alcon, and he's
Yep.
still around.
I'm excited to see what IPs they bring, and it's just still
Yeah.
early. There's so much to come. Like they talked about there being hundreds of brands, right? Like they said that 2 years ago, hundreds of brands
Yeah.
that were in the lineup, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how many brands are there right now? Like, have we even reached 200 brands on
Yeah.
there? I don't even know, but
Did any of you guys get that new comic that dropped this week called Kava? It's like a
I didn't.
528 page comic.
No.
What?
Yeah. And in the VeVe comic store, it's like $33.
Was that on the comic side?
The VeVe
Yeah.
Comics site?
Yeah, I picked one
Whoa.
up, and I
It's
looked
enormous.
into it, and it was created on a Kickstarter program.
Really?
Yeah, and it was sold. They raised like $250,000 or something like that. I don't know if it was to create it, but it was tied to Kickstarter, and then all of a sudden you see it on VeVe, which I
Mhm.
thought was kind of interesting. And it's the most expensive one I've seen so far, and the storyline seems to be really cool. So I
Wow.
picked it up.
How much is like the NFT? It's $33. And is there like a non-NFT version that's less like the other
Yeah,
comics
I
are?
think it was like 20 something bucks.
Interesting.
See,
Wow, that is enormous.
Yeah, and of course the two people that decided to list theirs, I think the floor is 150 or something.
yeah. Yeah.
What?
See, somebody's missing out on being a content creator for comics that
Yeah.
release every week. I'm telling you, there's a wide open gap there. That because I didn't know about that. I didn't hear about Garbage Pail Kids or Mars Attacks.
Mars
You know,
Attacks. That was huge.
and there's a stream of comics every week that people need to really pay attention to and be educated about. So I hope somebody does it.
Yes. Well, another IP that I think is coming personally is Dragon Ball Z. Like, I think it's absolutely coming, and I can't wait for that. Like, I think there's a lot of
100%.
timing we're kind of waiting for.
Yeah,
and I'm not even a Dragon Ball Z guy, but I will be buying Dragon Ball Z for obvious reasons.
Didn't David have a lot of Dragon Ball Z collectibles in his background a few times? So I'm sure that's coming.
Ridiculous amounts, all the time he's got Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And just heads up, I've got a few more minutes that I can hang on. So
cool. All right. Well, I think we've discussed a lot here, and hopefully people found value in it. I appreciate you, Cosmo, for coming in and being our FA first guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun, man.
So proud of it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. This has been a blast.
Yeah, we got to do it again. We'll talk about some more stuff.
Yeah.
Would love it. All
right, everybody in the chat. Later. See you guys.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Late.